もんかよ。
Number 10, Kaneki vs Arima, Tokyo Ghoul Re. Route had a lot of things wrong with it, but one of its biggest transgressions is off-screening the final fight between Super Ghoul Kaneki and the ultimate CCG soldier in the form of Arima. Thankfully, it was later rectified during the latter half of its sequel series. With Kaneki reclaiming his memory and returning to the home team, he's forced to battle against the man he once considered a father figure. It was a long time coming, but we finally got to see the Kagune vs Quinkei battle we had been waiting for. Okay, Ri, you get 1 point for that.
戦いは相手を殺すまで続く。
Number 9, Kirito vs Po. Sword Art Online Alicization, War of Underworld. Remember Laughing Coffin?
殺人ギルド、ラフィンコフィン。
That group of players who were dead set on taking PvP to new extremes in Sword Art Online? Well, after many years, we'd finally see their leader again during the final arc of the Battle for Underworld. Unlike his lackeys, POH is a tough SOB, making the ideal foe to herald the return of Kirito. While his ferocity nearly gets the better of the Black Swordsman, the sudden return of his SAO OP status quickly turns the tide. After such a lethal spree of trolling, being turned into a tree for eternity seems like a fitting end. Number 8, Luffy vs Doflamingo, One Piece. Every time the Straw Hats set sail, you can always count on a new villainous buccaneer to show up, though none had as much build-up as the self-proclaimed King of Dressrosa. Starting off as a mischievous side character during the battle at Marineford, to a weapon smuggler unafraid of using children as test subjects, and finally as a tyrannical overlord who wouldn't hesitate to slaughter his own citizens to get what he wanted. Doflamingo was a special kind of scumbag. Thankfully, karma came back to bite him, courtesy of Luffy's Gear 4th, resulting in one of the franchise's best battles to date. Number 7, Gintoki vs Takasugi, Gintama. In between the crass comedy and fourth wall breaks, Gintoki found time to slide in some intense drama and brutal sword fights, and no character brought both to the surface quite as much as the Black Beast. Lurking in the shadows and causing no end of trouble, we finally were given the chance to see just how dangerous he was when he and Gin clashed blades during the attempt on the Shogun's life. There was nothing funny about seeing these two nearly rip each other apart, but it was epic. Number 6, Natsu vs Zeref, Fairy Tail. The primary evil responsible for pretty much everything heinous in the series up until that point. A duel between the Dark Mage and the Salamander was bound to happen sooner or later, and while their first bout might have ended in Zeref flexing his immortality, it did show us just how powerful Natsu had become during his years of training. Armed with the Fire Dragon King mode, the only thing more devastating than Natsu's punch was hearing the truth about END.
Nuts.
Number 5, Char vs Amuro. Mobile Suit Gundam, Char's counterattack. They've nearly blown each other to pieces in their respective mobile suits, speared each other in an impromptu fencing match, and roasted each other through their temporary team-up throughout Zeta.
That's Amuro Ray.
And yet fans still wanted to see this legendary rivalry flare up one last time. With Char gone off the deep end and fully committed to destroying the Earth, it falls to Amuro and his all-powerful new Gundam to ensure that history repeats itself once more with a final mecha showdown.
Amuro!
Now that's how you go out swinging.
Captain!
Number 4, Ash vs Gary. Pokemon.
Hey, watch where you're going! Well, you must be Ash. Better late than never, I guess. At least you get the chance to meet me.
There was only so many smell ya laters that Ash was going to take before he pushed back. And what better way to sell things than in a 6 vs 6 Pokemon battle where the world could see who the true Pallet Town prodigy was.
Get behind Blastoise now!
Skull Bash now!
That Skull Bash is right on target!
With a diverse team of heavy hitters, it's one of the few times where the anime truly captured the spirit of the classic games, especially with the final bout involving Charizard and Blastoise. Screw type advantages, it was worth it to see Gary's dreams crumble.
I won. And I beat Gary.
Number 3, Ichigo vs Aizen. Bleach. It may have all been part of Aizen's plan, but that didn't stop this long-awaited clash from being a spectacle. From the moment a fully hollow-fied Ichigo unleashed his first attack against the traitor captain, fans braced themselves for the ingenious way the Strawberry was going to dethrone the nigh unstoppable sociopath. The answer was the final Getsuga Tensho. And while it wasn't exactly what we had been hoping for, the ass pull was almost worth it to see Aizen and his mullet get sliced in half. Number 2, Goku vs Gohan. Dragon Ball Super. They've trained in the hyperbolic time chamber. They've had a few non-canon fights across GT, but this was the one that finally gave Gohan a bit of his credit back. Not since his battle against Cell had we seen him channel his inner Saiyan this ferociously, and it's a practice match against his papa of all things. On the eve of the Tournament of Power, father and son clash without pulling any punches. Sure, as soon as Super Saiyan Blue was triggered, Gohan got wasted, but at least he demonstrated he's not become totally useless later in life. Number 1, Naruto vs Sasuke. Naruto Shippuden. These two have had more confrontations than most rivals out there, and yet each bout continued to build and build in quality and complexity, all culminating in a long-awaited return to the Valley of the End, where they proceeded to blow our collective minds. Now armed with the power of the Rinnegan and the Sage of the Six Paths, Naruto and Sasuke reduced everything to rubble with their god-tier jutsu, paving the way for an emotional and exhaustive round of fisticuffs to conclude their decades-long ordeal. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.